What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for NXT review for February, May 8th, 2019. Just got done watching NXT, or at least I did. I was on a delay a little bit, just what I had to deal with. Tonight's NXT was Matt Riddle versus Adam Cole in the main event. His name. Raul Mendoza versus the returning Riddick Moss. The last time we saw Riddick Moss was, I believe, 2 years ago at the end of 2017 when him and Tito Sabatelli were teaming. Riddick Moss got injured toward his I believe it's towards his pectoral muscle, while Tito Sabatelli, not too long after that, got injured as well. So both of those guys have been on the mend for a while. So it was great to see Riddick Moss back. He is in this new Riddick regimen gimmick. So I think it's just them taking what Bull Dempsey did in 2015, 2016 with his Bull fit and changing it to this and working it around Riddick Moss. In the opening show, we had Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair. We also had the Forgotten Sons attack the tag team champions, the Viking Raiders, as they are now being called in NXT, which is a damn shame because the War Raiders name I like the War Raiders name better, but you know what it is what it is. I'm just glad that they killed the experience before it got too far. Really good show. Before we get on to that, there is some news that came out this week. On Monday, Triple H did announce that the next NXT TakeOver, which will be in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which kind of is disappointing. It's going to Bridgeport, is going to be NXT 25. This is the 25th NXT TakeOver. I don't think they count the NXT UK TakeOver event, but this is the 25th NXT TakeOver event. Now, when it comes to the significance of NXT TakeOver 25, the location to me is kind of disappointing. I wish they could have got NXT TakeOver 25. If it wasn't for scheduling conflict, would have been perfect for the first time a Madison Square Garden, a Staples Center, somewhere other than Bridgeport, Connecticut. I think they're kind of going to some place that doesn't deserve a TakeOver 25, the significance of this being a big deal. The place that they're going just doesn't feel like a big deal. That's just my thoughts on that. And on a sad note, Dominik Dijakovic, who 2 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago challenged the Velveteen Dream to the North American Championship, and that continued this last week with Dream coming out and saying his own version of the Star Spangled Banner. Looked like we were heading towards an NXT TakeOver 25, Velveteen Dream versus Dominik Dijakovic. Unfortunately, that is not going to happen, as Dominik Dijakovic has suffered a torn meniscus and had recently had surgery earlier today. So he is going to be out for at least 2 to 3 months, maybe even 4. So that's a damn shame, and hopefully it's a speedy recovery for Dominik Dijakovic. It would have been great to see Velveteen Dream versus him at TakeOver 25, but they could pick that right back up if Dream retains the title over who he might be facing at NXT TakeOver 25. And we could see that match still at NXT TakeOver Toronto. So even though he's going to be out and missing NXT TakeOver 25, they could have him out till July or August, which I hope he could be back by then. If he's not able to come back by TakeOver Toronto, that would suck for sure, because then they could maybe push it back to War Games, which will be happening Survivor Series weekend, but we'll have to wait and see. It is a damn shame to see a young talent like this, like Dominik Dijakovic, who was on the cusp of having his first TakeOver match for a championship in NXT, to have to be sidelined for a significant amount of time. Is just a damn shame, and I hope he has a speedy recovery, and hopefully we can see the Velveteen Dream versus Dominik Dijakovic if he's available for NXT TakeOver Toronto, which is going to be happening 2 months after TakeOver 25. So we'll have to wait and see what goes on there. We started off with Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair. This came because of an argument at the Performance Center last week between these two, and Bianca Belair threatened to drop Mia Yim. I believe Mia Yim was talking to some reporters the week before, and talked about wanting to have a shot with Shayna Baszler. And of course, Bianca Belair feels like she should be still first person in line. Still has this mentality that she is undefeated. Now, if that's her mentality, that she has that undefeated mentality, that's one thing. But having her come out and say, I am undefeated, kind of doesn't have the same ring as it did before, because she has lost twice to Shayna Baszler, both at TakeOver. These two started on SmackDown back and forth early, but both women with some arm drags that ends in a stalemate as both women tried to arm drag each other at the same time. Kim tries to show some respect, but Belair isn't having any of that shit and just boots her in the stomach and goes to work on her. Boots in the corner leads to a neck crank. Standing frog splash, chops to the back, cover for a 2. Belair talks some trash and says, "You want to take my spot? Fight me." This is a little bit later in the match. Belair with some more taunting. Yim kicks her away and is able to eventually lock in a guillotine choke. Belair with punches to the back to reverse it into a snap suplex, which is just the skill to do that because she's on you. As she's a guillotine choke with a leg vice, and able to get out of that and get it with the snap suplex is just awesome. Belair with the frog splash, but Yim gets the knees up. She did hit a frog splash early in the match that she did get for a 2 count. Yim with a bunch of kicks. His shotgun trot kick sends Belair into the corner. Rolling cannonball. Yim then goes to it for a tarantula. Then she gets out of that after a 4 count, of course. Yim tries to roll Belair up. She's not able to counter that and tries to use the ropes with her hands, but the referee counters that, catches that. Ref sees it and says no. A couple more counters and Belair ends up a couple more roll up counters. Belair ends up sitting down and she does the same thing she did before with her hand, except she wraps her hair in the ropes, and the referee counts without seeing the hair for some reason because she kind of got out of position. 1, 2, 3. Bianca Belair is your winner for this match. This match was an okay match. Okay, it was a good starting match for the NXT show. I think Mia Yim has the ability to be something good in NXT, but right now it doesn't feel like she's there. It feels like Bianca Belair is ahead of her. We'll have to wait and see what goes on with these two women. I don't think they're done, especially with the way that finish happened. The Viking Raiders were caught on security camera leaving the Performance Center when Jackson Ryker pulled up in a truck, and Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake come from behind and throw one through a trash can, one through, I think they both threw 2 different type of trash cans. All 3 men brutalize the Viking Raiders and then leave in Jackson Ryker's truck. It then was announced that the Viking Raiders will be live next week to address the tag team title situation. I did forget to mention that this was definitely not on this recent set of tapings for NXT. Simple fact is, Percy Watson was still on the commentary desk, and this recent set of tapings, which I believe was done last week or the week before that, Beth Phoenix took his spot. Beth Phoenix was not on this show whatsoever, so it looks like this was on the previous set of tapings, back when the Viking Raiders was still being the War Raiders, which was taped the night after the Wednesday after WrestleMania. We're still on those tapings. Earlier in the day, they showed a sparring session that Shayna Baszler was hosting between Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke to let these two spar a little bit. When you could just see her in the background of the Performance Center, you just see a small little dart, and it's as it comes closer, you can see her running so fast. Io Shirai slides into the ring, attacks Shayna Baszler from behind. The Duke and Shafir get off of each other and go after Io Shirai, and then you have a bunch of other women and men break these two up. So it looks like we are going with Io Shirai versus Shayna Baszler at NXT TakeOver 25. That was not announced on the show, by the way, because this was taped before WrestleMania. With 3 weeks left until NXT TakeOver 25, because it is on June 1st, I am pretty sure we will see them slow, because this stuff was taped also before they announced NXT TakeOver 25, that I'm sure they'll post-edit have the announcers of Beth Phoenix, Mauro Ranallo, and Nigel McGuinness do post-edit and have them mention NXT TakeOver 25 and everything that's coming on. By the way, and we'll get more into it on Saturday, it seems that Mauro Ranallo signed a new WWE deal, so he's going to be sticking hopefully in NXT for the years to come. This guy is a great talent, and I'm glad to see him being stuck, keeping him in NXT. I would love to see him on the main roster, but we know what they've done with him before and where that went to. He needs to stay in NXT, maybe do some NXT UK if they want to, but this guy, Mauro Ranallo, is awesome, and I want him to stay just where he's at, because look what happened with Corey Graves. Corey Graves in NXT was the best that they had. He was one of the best guys in the on the commentary booth. Was definitely a breath of fresh air. He comes up and he's a shell of his former self. Can't wait to see what Beth Phoenix does next week. We're going to definitely have a commentary on that. But we move on. Raul Mendoza versus Riddick Moss. Riddick Moss comes out with a sweater on. He has this bottle, looks like a wine bottle or something, and it said on the, I thought it said Riddick Regime on the Titantron, but it was, I guess, Riddick Regimen. So he's on this new Riddick Regimen. He came in with that elastic band thing that you see people use to stretch their arms out and everything. So he's stretching himself in before the match. He had this little like device or something outside the ring, and I have no idea what the hell it does. So I have no idea what this is going. Maybe we'll see some video packages at a later time for the Riddick regime, which I think they should have been doing immediately, not later down the line. But it's great to see Riddick Moss back, especially after the injury he had to deal with for about like half a year or so. Moss tosses Mendoza across the ring and does some taunting. Mendoza is able to drop Moss and Moss taunting him. Moss needs to take a moment, and he uses a piece of equipment to work the kinks out of his shoulder. Moss is doing some kind of like the old Simon Dean fitness experiment gimmick with the Riddick Regiment. So yeah, that's another one too, the Simon Dean, which was an absolute flop. So quite honestly, what's going to make this one different than Simon Dean? I have no idea. Mendoza gets into offense, tries for a springboard crossbody, and gets caught in midair. Moss curls, actually, goes to do a fallaway slam, but decides to curl Mendoza at least 2 times and then throws him in the fallaway slam. So just showing his strength, because Mendoza, yeah, is 100 and some pounds, but that's definitely not something like somebody like me or you could do. You just take a guy like Raul Mendoza and be able to deadlift him 2 or 3 times and then throw it over our shoulders. So definitely showing his strength there. I would love to see Riddick Moss do that to not like 3 times to a guy like a Matt Riddle or Keith Lee, if he was able to get that guy up and deadlift him once or twice and then fallaway slam him. Do I see that happening? Probably not, but that would be one of those what the fuck moments in WWE if Riddick Moss was able to pull that off. Moss does a military press catches and slams him down through the mat. Cover 2. Moss takes a break to drink from a bottle he brought up. Goes to give Mendoza some, gets slapped out of his hands. Mendoza with an enziguri. Hurricane Runner, sending Moss into the corner. Another enziguri. Mendoza heads to the top rope. Moss jumps up, gets kicked in the head, and falls back to the mat. Mendoza, springboard twisting splash for the 1, 2, 3. And Mendoza looked like he won the WWE Championship with how, the shock on his face when he beat Riddick Moss. I don't know why it was such a shock to him. I mean, yes, Raul Mendoza, who I think his future in WWE after his lengthy time in NXT is going to be 205 Live. I don't see WWE's main roster using Raul Mendoza for anything more than 205 Live. Is that a bad thing? No, because 205 Live has actually had some good matches over the time. And quite honestly, I would love it, because last year we talked about it, that there was a rumor that WWE was going to have Cruiserweight Tag Team Championships. Well, if you get more Cruiserweights on that show, you can do a tag team division if you want to. And they look like they were going to do that. They had the Lucha House Party. They had Akira Tozawa and Hideo Itami, who's not there anymore. They have Akira Tozawa and Brian Kendrick. They could do a bunch of things. They had Drew Gulak and Jack Gallagher too, but I think that's broken up too. They could do a lot of things that they really want to. We'll have to wait and see. But Raul Mendoza, good worker, and I'm surprised he's not on 205 Live yet. They showed us what happened with Kazuchika Okada and Kushida last week. And next week, Kushida will be back for his next test. So we will see what happens with the Viking Raiders, which obviously they are probably going to be relinquishing the tag team championships or setting up for a match at NXT TakeOver 25. I think they're more on the relinquishing side just because they are on Monday Night Raw, and I don't think Vince McMahon wants anybody who's on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live on a TakeOver anytime soon. We had Matt Riddle versus Adam Cole. This was a great match. I was hoping that this was going to be the TakeOver match for Adam Cole while we get somebody else for the interim, just the interim, somebody else for Johnny Gargano, who I don't know what Johnny Gargano is going to be doing when we come to next week, but it looks like from what I've heard from Dave Meltzer is that they're going to be going with Cole versus Gargano 2 for the NXT Championship. Now, could Adam Cole win the NXT Championship, or could they go with what happened at the end of the show and cause a rift between the Undisputed Era some more? And we'll talk about something that happened after the show, which was on the WWE's NXT's YouTube page, Twitter page after we get through this match. And this match was hard hitting. This match was great. These two worked really well together. This match was awesome. Riddle with a waistlock as he slams Cole to the mat multiple times before Cole finally bails out of the ring for a moment. Cole pops Riddle, who tries for a headlock. Riddle rolls out of it and applies one of his own. Gutman suplex, another one. Overhead release suplex as the crowd chants bro. Riddle charges in the corner, leaps, but nobody home. Cole yanks him down to the mat. Cole with a figure four on Riddle's neck. He bridges up and gets the pinfall attempt for a 2 count. And goes He bridges up and gets a pinfall attempt on Cole. He kicks out and back to work on the legs, punches in the corner. Cole with a dragon sleeper in the middle of the ring. Not a really good dragon sleeper. It was like a dragon sleeper, but it wasn't fully locked in because immediately as he put the dragon sleeper on, Matt Riddle was fighting out of it almost immediately. He has Matt Riddle is on his knees, and Adam Cole likes to talk trash. Just likes to talk trash to his opponents. And he gets down and just looks at him and is like, I am the uncrowned champion. You are nothing to me. You are pathetic to Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle gets pissed off, lands some kicks and punches. Cole with an insecurity, but Matt Riddle goes right into a German suplex. Riddle some attacking with some running punches in the corner from one side to the other. One corner punch, one corner another punch. Exploder suplex, misses the penalty kick. Drop down on Cole, tries for another penalty kick and lands it. He went for the penalty kick, missed it because Cole dropped down. He goes for a standing moonsault. Cole rolls out of the way, and then he does a senton on top of Adam Cole. He does hit another penalty kick. It's a 2 count. Riddle hits a German suplex with a bridge, 2 count. Cole back up, pump kick, Oshigoroshi pin, 2 counts. Riddle with Cole on his shoulder, lifts him up, and Cole counters it, and I have never seen anybody do this. He had him in the fireman's carry. It looked like he was going to go for like a GTS, which, by the way, he did hit a GTS, but used it as a setup move to another move. But yeah, he goes up and looks like he's going to go for the GTS, lifts him up like he's going to do it, and Adam Cole, I've never seen this done before, wiggles his way out of it and hits a backstabber onto Matt Riddle. Holy shit, what the hell was that? I've never seen anybody do that before. It's a 2 count. Cole stomps Riddle's barefoot. Definitely like another, and you could just see the pain in Riddle's face. He sold it real well because it's like, I sat here and was like, that's what you get for wearing those boots, man. Looks for a super kick and Riddle turns it into an ankle lock. Riddle and Adam Cole tries to reverse it, and then Riddle gets the other ankle and puts it in the ankle lock. Riddle with a high kick into the face, and Adam Cole just fell over and looked like he fell to his knees like he died. He got hit so hard or so fast or whatever it was that he just crumbled to his knees and like he was dead. Two fisherman busters, goes for a third one, but Cole hits a brain buster out of it, pin 2 count. Cole fakes a high kick and kicks low. Cole looks for the Canadian Destroyer, which I'm so fucking glad they stopped calling it the Panama Sunrise. It is a Canadian fucking destroyer. Morrow and I called it the Canadian Destroyer, and I'm like, thank you, Morrow, because when they had halftime heat back in January, and I think it was Vic Joseph called it the Panama Sunrise, I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So, yeah, just saying that. It gets blocked. Riddle tries for a powerbomb. High kick misses. Cole with a super kick and hammers Riddle right with a Shining Wizard. Everyone says the Shining Wizard in the front, Adam Cole is the last shot. No. The last shot is when Adam Cole pulls down the knee pad, runs and hits them with the Shining Wizard on the back of the head, not the front of the head, the back of the head. There's a difference. He doesn't win when he hits if he hits the shot to the back of the head, 9 times out of 10 or 99.9% of the time, he's winning. He hit him with the Shining Wizard in the front of the face, gets a 2 count, and holy shit, the Adam Cole looked like he was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Strong run, like, Riddle hits the go to sleep powerbomb, goes knee to the face that looks so hard that Cole rolled out of the ring to the floor. All of a sudden, Roderick Strong, for whatever reason, comes out to help pick up Cole. Riddle looks for a penalty kick, and Adam Cole moves out of the way. Strong takes the bullet for Adam Cole. I want you to remember all this that goes on from here. Everything else that goes on from here. Penalty kick hits Roderick Strong. Riddle flips, like, the ref is out of the ring. The ref, like, Cole's back in the ring. And the ref comes out and is arguing with Roderick Strong. Matt Riddle decides to do a flip from the apron to the inside of the ring, eats a super kick. Ref gets, like, Roderick Strong tells the ref, get back to the ring and count the match, count the thing. 1, 2, Riddle kicks out, real mission, and Adam Cole ends up tapping out. Roderick Strong is devastated the fact that Adam Cole lost this match. Post-match, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish immediately come down and wonder what the hell Strong was doing. The group gets in the ring, but Riddle heads out of the ring to go to the back. Strong tries to help Cole up and gets shoved away. O'Reilly and Fish attempt to calm things down on both sides as Strong and Cole are yelling at each other. Cole is annoyed that this keeps happening, saying Strong says he just took a kick to the face and was trying to help. Crowd yells hug, 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 hug the whole time they're having their bickering. Crowd yelling hug it out. Towards the end of this, they seem to be calmed a little bit as they head to the back. Cole says that to O'Reilly he's frustrated this keeps losing. Every time he loses a big match, it's because of Roderick Strong. He won that 5-way to get to take over New York by himself. He didn't need anyone's help. Then he goes to, and then he comes to this match and Roderick Strong gets in his way, so he's not happy about this. So I was about ready to get on here and record, and I look on Twitter for a second, and Adam Cole, like, the NXT Twitter page is like, things for the Undisputed Era didn't get any better, they got worse. Much, much, much worse. Adam Cole goes off on Roderick Strong in this NXT exclusive. He caught him a little bit.
Maybe you don't deserve anyway. Maybe you don't deserve it.
So yeah, he's calling him a little bitch. Roderick Strong takes the armband, throws it off, takes the t-shirt off, throws it off, and is that the end of Roderick Strong in the Undisputed Era? I don't think so. I think they're setting this up to where Roderick Strong is going to be the one to cost Johnny Gargano the NXT Championship, in which Adam Cole will reap the benefits of all this, and everything will be fine and dandy in NXT for the Undisputed Era. Definitely some interesting things to look forward to for NXT. We are getting ourselves 4 weeks. We are 4 Saturdays away from NXT TakeOver 25. 25th ever NXT TakeOver. I've seen all 24 before, including if they do count that one, which I don't think they do. But I've seen like every NXT TakeOver live, and I'm looking forward to NXT TakeOver in June 1st. Cannot wait. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at The France Club. My Twitter account is all set in fame now, so anything that happened last night, I have no idea. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. I'll be back to streaming hopefully in the next couple weeks. Gotta work a couple kinks out of things. And I'll see you guys Saturday for Unscripted. We have a lot to go over, and I'll see you guys then.